Gymnasts might be the highest jumpers in the world. There are multiple videos of gymnasts reaching over a second in the air in one of their round-off jumps, which means that they are the highest jumpers on the planet. Your velocity at takeoff dictates how long you're going to be in the air for, which is directly correlated to your vertical displacement, aka how high you jump. For reference, there have only been 2 jumps that I've ever seen in a high-quality video where a jumper is off the ground for over a second, except in gymnastics. Why is that? Well, it's probably because of their approach. They're able to generate a ton of horizontal momentum on their approach, and then they can block all this momentum without decelerating with a very aggressive 2-foot block. A gymnastic block is actually very similar to a 1-foot high jump. Watch this video where they were trying to explain the physics behind high jumping, and to do it, they showed by throwing a pole into the ground at an angle, it's going to follow a perfect path over the bar. And this is essentially what 1-foot jumping is. You run really fast, you put your foot out in front of you at the perfect angle, and if the angle is correct, you go straight up into the air. The thing is, we're extremely limited by our musculature and the properties of our tendons, right? We can't just sprint all out and just plant with 1 leg or with 2 feet and block all that momentum upwards. Most athletes are just not strong enough. However, doing a round off into a 2-foot block allows you to plant both feet. So you're way stronger than if you were just using 1 foot. The angle you're coming in is impossible to reach off 2 legs because a 2-leg jump is actually mostly unilateral. Most of the forces are on 1 leg. So the round off allows you to hit the ground at like a 45-degree angle with both legs. You also accelerate through that round off. Most athletes, when they try to run fast, they end up just slowing down right before they plant their penultimate step. This is not the case with the round off. You have a ton of speed running in, and then the round off accelerates you even more, and then you hit the ground at the perfect angle. And if you have elite tendon genetics like these gymnasts do, you will fly. Now, most athletes don't have the genetics or the years and years of gymnastic experience to take advantage of this approach. However, you can train to become more similar to these gymnasts. There's actually a dunker that had an approach that was very similar to these gymnasts. His name is Justin Darlington, and his technique was pretty unorthodox. But as you can see in this video, he was one of the highest jumpers on the planet. What we can learn from this is that your approach speed is extremely important. Usually, for most athletes I coach, just telling them to run faster leads to worse technique. So in order to improve your approach speed, what I recommend is actually practicing with low speeds. And what you want to get really good at is accelerating through your approach. Doesn't matter how fast you run. If you decelerate, it's not going to do anything. Your entire approach is essentially pointless if you decelerate. So focus on going from slow to fast, and the last 2 steps should be the fastest in your approach. The only way to do this, again, is practice slow and then do a ton of reps. As your technique gets better and accelerating becomes more natural and you become stronger, then you can start adding in speed over time.